In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Shaedon Sharpe and how he dunks the ball. So let's get down, let's check it out, and if you want to be able to jump higher, make sure to go check out the vertical jump training book that is down in the description below. Okay, so after he gets this steal, he's coming back the other way, and he's faced with yet another defender. Obviously, he wants to be able to go off of 2 feet. He is not going to be very successful if he's going off of only 1 foot. He needs to be able to go off of 2 feet, as we see right here. But how does he do this? Well, first off, long penultimate step right there. You want to go for a very long step, especially if it's your last step going into a 2-foot takeoff. This is going to allow you to transfer the speed that you had this way into vertical up into the air. Now, also, something else to really look at is the fact that where he has the ball and, of course, the muscle groups that are going to help translate that energy that is going this way into vertical energy. And that is his shoulders and lower back. Obviously, you're going to be using a lot of your quads, a lot of your calves, your Achilles is also going to be activated as well because this last step is going to be on your toes. Your heel is not going to be touching the ground. Your shoulders are important because that is going to give you momentum to get up into the air. That's why some players will actually find it easier to do a back scratcher than a regular dunk. And your lower back is huge in being able to jump higher as well. And yes, he was able to sky up and absolutely posterize this guy. We can really see it good right here where right now, he is looking at the rim with his peripheral vision. He's going to be able to see the defender where he has to be and how he has to be able to bend his body. He is going to be flat-footed on this last step. He's going to go heel to toe on this step. And then on the next step, it's going to be on his toes. And then he's obviously going to be able to dunk and posterize his defender. And then with this dunk right here, we can see it as well. We're going to try and rewind it just a bit so you're able to see it in slow motion. But long last step. Notice how he's able to get so far with that step. Now, look at the angle that his knee is at. If we actually go and measure the angle, he's roughly around 130 degrees on takeoff. When he's about to go into the air, he is at 130 degrees. Now, there's been a ton of studies on this. I've been working in this field for over 15 years. This is why a lot of players will get more explosive if they work out at the degree that their leg bends at for their jump. So if we go in and we notice, obviously this angle is going to be a little bit hard, but at this point, he's gone from 130 degrees to about 90 degrees roughly. Maybe 100, maybe 95 degrees. Let's say middle of his knee to what could be the middle of his ankle. Middle of his knee to middle of his hip is about 90 degrees. So now, what should we be training? Well, number one, if we're looking to train Shaedon Sharpe or a player like Shaedon Sharpe, a few things I would do. I would train at 130 degrees, and then I would switch and train to at 90 degrees. And then I would go maybe a bit deeper. Get my knees over my toes on squats and things like that, where with no weight, have my heels up on a angle, maybe a 45 degree angle, and do a couple of squats there that go a little bit deeper. That way, you'll be training at 30 degrees, and obviously your muscles and ligaments are going to be working out a bit differently at that. You're going to be working out at 90 degrees, and they're going to be working a bit different from that angle. And then you'll be working out at 130 degrees, and your muscles and ligaments react differently at that angle. The reason why this is important, in my opinion, now obviously this is an estimate, it would be different for every player, but why I would do this is because now, let's say you take off from 130 degrees. Let's say that's your one leg takeoff. Well, now, if you're taking off like this in game, your muscles and ligaments are going to be reacting differently, and you may not get the power as you would as if you went from 90 degrees. That's why some players can only dunk off of 2 feet and not off of 1 foot, or they can only dunk off of 1 foot and not 2 feet. Now you may be wondering, why does Shaedon Sharpe go off of 2 feet so often? Well, number one, he could be just a 2-foot dunker. Let's face it, he could be just a 2-foot dunker. He dunks with 1 foot, but he could be just a 2-foot dunker. But the number one reason is he's always dunking on somebody. If you want to be able to dunk on somebody, off of 1 foot is extremely hard. Off of 2 feet, you are balanced. You have more control. You have more core strength. You have all of that. You can change your orientation in the air. And of course, you're going to have more power going to the rim. Now, when he takes off for this one-leg dunk, let's actually look at the angle his knee is at. If we look at the actual angle the knee is at when he goes off to go for this dunk, remember I said 130 degrees earlier? That's his one-leg jump. This is why having a trainer who actually knows what he's doing is actually very important, especially when it comes to working out. If you are looking to improve, you need a trainer who is going to be very into training you. If there's a trainer who's training 600,000 people, he's not going to be able to look at your tapes and say, this is exactly how you need to train. However, if you've got somebody who can look at your tape and be like, okay, when you dunk with 1 foot, you're going off at 130 degrees. So we need to work out at 130 degrees. When you go off of 2 feet, you're at 90 degrees. We need to work off of 90 degrees as well. That way, you're going to have strength at both degrees, because if you're just working at 90 and you try to go for a 130 degree angle jump, you're not going to have the same power as you would as if you were 90 degrees. That's, again, why a 2-foot jumper is always usually a 2-foot jumper, or a 1-foot jumper is always just a 1-foot jumper, because they just work out at that angle, because that's just what feels comfortable for them. And then you go a little bit deeper. Now, the deeper ones you're doing for knee health. You're never jumping from 45 degrees. You're never jumping from 30 degrees, but you're doing that so that you have better knee health. You are strengthening your ligaments so that, let's say you went deeper than 90 degrees. Let's say you went 85 degrees one time, or you got hit halfway through your jump you're hit halfway through your step, and now instead of 130 degrees, you're at 125. Now, your knee is a lot stronger and able to withstand angles and different, of course, situations than what you normally are training at. So you need to train at 3 angles. Obviously, your 1-leg jump, your 2-leg jump, and a deeper squat, where now that is going to be for knee health. I hope that this has helped you. Make sure to go check out the jump training book that is down in the description below so that you can jump higher.